Hello everyone and welcome back to a new reaction video. Today we are going by the request in the comments below and we are checking out 5 anime concepts I would like to see from Gigguk. Okay. I don't want to waste any more time and I am actually curious of what concepts he is thinking of, and without further ado, let's check it out. Oh yeah, the link of the original in the description below. Go check it out. Support. Yes.
This video was sponsored by Amino Apps.
Is that Pokemon Go?
No. Amino is an app where you can join different
Oh, okay,
communities
just
and meet
from the start. Okay,
like
and from the start.
So it's kinda like Pokemon Go!
No, it's nothing like Pokemon Go. Look, it has thousands of unique communities. That doesn't have anything to do with To join a community, you need to get the app on either iOS or Android and search what you're interested in. So as you can see, I'm in the anime one, the Evangelion one, and what the? If you can't find any communities to your liking, you can even make your own. Each community contains a news feed of user-created content like blogs, polls, and public chats that you can take part in. Look, see, this guy's looking for a new anime to watch. He seems pretty friendly, so let's give him a little help. A great way to meet new people is just to follow people you find interesting. You can also follow me on Gigguk and find out what I think is my top grade A favorite anime.
Oh my god.
I still don't want to get it!
It's kind of like Pokemon Go.
Alright, I'll get it!
It's nothing like Pokemon Go. Got me when you heard this before. Normal teenage boy finds he has superpowers and goes on a quest to save the world. Loser nerd finds himself living with a group of hot girls in the Playboy Mansion, and a group of dunce midgets who don't do shit sit around getting an audience by... You know what? This doesn't look half bad. There are things in anime that we've seen many times before, but anime also has this weird charm of being able to make the most seemingly mundane idea into the most off-the-cuff, balls-to-the-walls concept, or an intellectual romp that makes you question your own existence. Where else can you see rock, paper, scissors become an exhausting intellectual battle of the mind, a gripping drama about garbage men in space, and a down-to-earth comedy where Jesus and Buddha are budding roommates in Tokyo?
This is what Jesus died for!
It brings so many possibilities that there have been times when I've looked at things in the real world and thought, you know what? I think there's space to create a narrative out of this that could make for an anime I'd watch. So here are 5 concepts based on real world things that I think could work well in anime. Apologies if these have been done before and I've missed them, so be sure to tell me if anything's been done or at least done well. We start with something I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with. Video games. And while there have been plenty of anime with video games in them, has anything been said about the craft that goes into making them?
I'm on the line. Me, like my name, my career. If this fails, like I don't think I'll work in games again.
When you think of anime and video games, what do you think? I mean, we have people playing video games, people getting trapped in 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 video games.
Thank fuck for that, Sword Art Online!
But the closest thing we get in anime to making video games is a school club attempting to put together a simple demo, or the flawless logic we see behind a group of dudes creating a hentai game.
This makes no sense! Why do you want to sleep with me if I go to class with you? How does class equal pussy?
I have yet to see an anime that follows the entire development cycle of a video game, which I think could be very interesting. From the evolution of the initial concept to the work done to bring that idea to life, to the extensive thought process that goes into
I do believe there is an anime like this out,
there's plenty of material that could be covered to make an entertaining story. And if there's one country that knows about making video games, it's Japan.
But I want to know how they make pachinko machines.
Maybe you can argue that my natural engineering instincts is what's driving me to think that such a concept would make for an interesting show, but things like Indie Game the Movie showed us that you can easily create a narrative that we care for about
this
the
video
people
is what?
behind video games. And Shiro Baka
2016, so it's pretty old. I do believe some of his concepts are already now.
To just ask me, hey, what about new game coming out this season? To which I say, yeah, that's an anime about game development.
Yeah.
Like K-On! Was an anime about music, guys. Music! You know what? Maybe all I'm asking for is for PA
Oh, that's a good point. I was thinking of new game as well.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Is that too much to ask? Great.
I don't know
now,
if
anime
it's
can be a platform for the most
actually game development
oriented when telling the more delicate human stories. But there is one thing that I haven't really seen a show do yet.
Action. Romance?
We've all seen it a million times before. Love triangles, love pentagons, love dodecahedrons. Romance in anime always seems to boil down to a group of friends
in high school,
all romantically interested in each other, like we're repeating the same season of Friends over and over, except no one ever likes the person they're supposed to like. Unless of course you're from school days, and in which case you're just a walking sex terminator sleeping with anything closely resembling a vagina. In any case, the romance normally ends when the final couple finally realize that they like each other and kiss. Or, you know, hold hands or some shit. Oh my god, she's holding my hand. She totally wants the D. Going beyond that, you have a few anime that portrays the whole relationship of a couple and the struggles that they go through, but what I haven't seen is an anime that resembles how most people's romantic lives actually go. Only the lucky few find the love of their lives on the first try, and most people go through multiple relationships before finding the one they want to end up with. Not every relationship you go through will be a happy one. You get hurt, you struggle through, and sometimes people change along the way, but it's a journey that people take through life, and it makes finding the actual person you want to stay with that much sweeter. You don't always need a love hexagon to create suitable drama, as a lot of people's lives actually have enough drama in them if we follow them for long enough. We've seen this in film, but for some reason I just cannot connect to Hollywood romances the same way I can with anime romances.
Yeah,
Because,
that's
they're
true.
Fucking 3D people, and how the fuck am I supposed to relate to that? The closest thing I've seen is something like 5 centimeters per second, but that was less of a happy romance and more of an outlook on how distance can grow between people.
But it looks so pretty.
Overall, romance in anime at the moment is very touching and sweet, but if they were able to tell a story of someone's entire romantic life from beginning to end, that could be a fresh concept for the genre. Moving on from the realism in life, I want to talk about something that has mystified
That would
me
take
ever
a lot
since
of
I was a kid.
episodes.
Something with wonder and mystique that you can almost say was magical?
Bad walking on water.
The hell?
I have a small confession to make. Back when I was a shiny-eyed little kid worrying about my next math class in school, I went through a phase when I was obsessed with magic and magicians. From the gritty street magic displayed by David Blaine to the grand event staged by David Copperfield, magic was, well, magical for me. I would watch countless clips of different magicians and marvel at the spectacle while pondering for days about how certain tricks were done.
Oh, magic!
And of course, being the curious bugger that I was, I would have to ruin magic for myself by researching the secret behind every magic trick. Except it didn't ruin it for me. Instead of turning me off magic, I was actually amazed by the amount of background work and skill needed to perform even the simplest of tricks. While magic itself is not a new concept to anime at all, with wizards and witches everywhere firing laser beams out of their nipples in the abundance of fantasy shows out there,
Okay.
actual real-world magicians are something I've never seen before. But why would they? I mean, what's the point of making a show about magic when you can literally draw any event you want, right? Well, behind the scenes,
That's
there is
true,
so much
I
work
guess.
a magician has to put into it if they want to be great. The countless hours needed to practice sleight of hand, the art
I
of
would be
misdirection,
down
the
for
brilliantly
some
designed stage props
actual,
used to
like,
bend the
magician
imagination, and
anime.
of course the showmanship that all leads to the satisfaction of pulling off a great show. It's the entire
Now You
craft,
See Me
and there have already
was
been
a
stories told
great
in movies about
movie.
the lighter and darker side of how dedicated you have to be towards it. And anime is one of the only mediums I know that can make explaining these elements into an interesting scene, like they do when explaining the simplest move in any sports anime, for example. I believe all these elements could blend together to make an interesting story about the journey any magician takes, the work they have to put in, or maybe even the sacrifices they need to make to be great. And if there's any medium that could tell this story, it's anime. But enough about learning how things work. This is anime, not the engineering channel. We want grand stories in ever-expanding worlds with big casts of characters that we actually care about. Isn't there something we can do there? Well, you know what? Hollywood may have the answer.
Oh.
If there's
Oh.
one hot concept in Hollywood nowadays,
That
it's
would
a
be so
shared
cool.
universe. Ever since the record-breaking Avengers put together the unlikely crew of Bill Gates, Captain Freedom, a supermodel, a brick shithouse, Shakespeare, and Hawkeye, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has become one of the biggest franchises in the world. And now, with every studio rushing to find the next big shared universe, I couldn't help but be curious to see if anime could do something similar. While we see the odd cameo here and there, and some series that take place in the same universe, like the Naruverse or Tsubasa Chronicles, there hasn't really been a story where a group of individual stories collide together to create something much grander. And it's something that could be easily achieved. Something like Baccano showed us you don't even need a main character to carry a show, just a group of interesting characters colliding with one another. Now imagine this just on a much grander scale. One part of anime that I think could really benefit from this would be the shonen battle genre. What would happen if characters like Luffy, Naruto, and Ichigo were actually part of the same
That
universe,
would be
and the paths
insane.
actually led them together towards something much bigger? Or what about a group of characters who come together in a battle royale type tournament like like we see in the Fate franchise. See, I actually got this idea thinking about the dilemma every Fate adaptation goes through. What's that dilemma, you ask? Well, when you throw together a huge cast of characters, all with varying backstories and motivation, how can you possibly portray all this information without boring the audience to death with hours of exposition? It's something that works in the visual novels, as they have hours and hours of playtime to be able to delve into detail, but in the limited runtime of an anime, this isn't so possible. So what if we show the individual backstories of the servants before they take part in the Holy Grail War? It would make character interactions much more interesting, and the impact of every major event hits much harder since we're already invested in the characters. Anime, especially the shonen genre, I think, could do wonders with this concept, and I for one would love to see it tried. Now,
He still has the Marvel theme song behind.
Grown in popularity in recent years due to some breakout hits, and that got me thinking about how it could also be applied to something else that has surged in popularity recently, as we once more revisit the world of video gaming.
Biggest tournament of the year.
The esports?
The best in the world. It's gonna be interesting.
These guys devote everything to this. It's right here, right now.
They have waited a year for this moment.
So guys, let's get this started.
Hello, League.
If you've been living under a rock these past few years, here's one irrefutable fact that's been cropped up which a generation of parents have tried to convince you is stupid. People really like watching video games. Whether it be about one guy in his room shrieking his ass off, or teams of people competing to be the best in the world, or thousands of people screaming at a massive LAN party. If there's one concept I think is just asking to be made, it's in esports. For those of you unacquainted with the term, esports is a term used to label the form of sport that describes competitive and professional video gaming, and is one of the fastest growing sports in recent times. Millions of people around the world are tuning into competitive gaming because well, it's exciting. It's really exciting. Look, this guy's so excited he sounds like a horny boyfriend trying to convince his girlfriend for sex. With the advent of Sword Art Online and this whole trend of making anime about video games, along with sports anime being hyped as they are, an esports anime would fit pretty perfectly into what we've seen.
I mean, they need a game
well.
and the
But
characters.
before everyone goes off mailing production IG to start making the next Kuroko no League of Legends, let's look into why this would actually work so well. As with any traditional sport, one of the reasons it's so compelling to follow is because if you follow it enough, a narrative forms. There are underdog stories, rivalries, superstar protagonists and villains,
True.
unknown newbies rising through the ranks, and real-life events that seemingly could only be scripted by the gods are littered everywhere in sports, and competitive gaming is no different. It's not hard to make a narrative out of a sport because by and large, the narrative is already there. The only difference is that this will be based on a fictional game, and esports athletes are so young, we wouldn't even need to put this in a high school setting where we need to win for the senpais, guys! The senpais! They're gonna be graduating next year, and this is the last time we can play with them! As every senpai then inevitably becomes irrelevant in the final match anyway. But the one thing that would separate esports from your traditional sports anime is how it can create a sport with its own set of rules. Even though every genre has the same set of goals, shooting someone, punching someone, destroying the enemy base, the rules of how you achieve these goals is entirely up to the author's discretion. Different games can have different characters, different tactics, different abilities, and all these can be easily exploited. We've already seen how fictional game rules can be stretched and exploited in shows like Log Horizon and No Game No Life, which were really entertaining to watch, and a fictional esport would be the perfect platform for something like this to shine, as an infinite amount of possible tactics could be used. Not to mention the current trend in competitive gaming to often patch and change around their games, so the tactics would always be constantly evolving. And best of all, this can all actually be explained to the audience in depth so they can understand, instead of, you know, getting confused as to why the Koreans sound like they're having multiple orgasms every time there's a team fight. An anime like this would not only be hype as shit, but could also be intellectually stimulating at the same time. That, all in all, I think it would be an absolutely entertaining watch if done right. And that was pretty much everything I had in mind.
Okay.
Let's not forget that concepts don't mean everything. There have been plenty of interesting concepts that were let down by shoddy execution, and concepts we've seen many times before that have been great because of great writing and characters we actually care about. With that said though, I'm sure you guys can think of loads more things that could be interesting too. As one thing we love about this medium is the possibilities are just seemingly endless. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much this month to Shameless,
I mean,
Videlish JP, Jocelyn.
This is it. Personally, for the 5 concepts that shared universe is the part 1 for me. That would be so cool. I mean, currently that I'm watching Toaru series, right? I mean, it's a shared universe, like, and we have two different seasons of it, right? Or two different series, Magical Index and Scientific Railgun, right? That's one instance. But it's not really like, I believe he thought shared universe as in like, I don't know, making, as he said, like One Piece and Naruto and Bleach like join together in one episode, right? Or something like that. That would be insane. But yeah, it would be like, I don't know, everything so far, the majority of animes that are like really crazy are, I mean, it's hard to say, but like isekai anime is a pretty good way to make a shared universe to some sort, right? You just put different characters in the same game, right? Or something like that. But yeah, the shared universe really is a good point, and I'm not sure if we actually have like actual anime that is around shared universe. Maybe there are instances or the episodes that are actually like just crossovers, right? For one episode in particular. But actual anime about it, I would like to see that, yeah, definitely. Then we got the magic. I mean, it's it's anime, right? So you can showcase anything you want, right? Because you have no restrictions. So I do believe that they are more easy to just like make a, I don't know, crazy magic, just I don't know, fireball, thunderbolts, flashes, whatever, right? But they don't need to make actual like magician trick, right? This is the good anime currently that I know of doesn't have really the magical tricks. It only has magic side. I mean, being able to do the tricks properly, you need to, I mean, firstly like introduce us to the trick and what it will happen, and then everything goes further, right? Yeah, I believe the Prestige had a nice the movie, right? Had a nice thought process behind it. You showcase something, you make something disappear, and the most important part is bringing something back. I mean, this making the magic tricks in real life is more like wow, insane, right? Because in anime everything is possible. So I don't know if, I mean, if it's done correctly, then the magic tricks anime would be very cool to see, right? As well. But yeah, the easier solution is just to make magic. It's simple as that, and there you have the show. Yeah, so shared universe, magic. Then we got the esports. For the esports, I'm not sure. I mean, if we definitely need a game, and because it's esports, I mean, I wouldn't be like up for being an isekai anime type of thing, right? It needs to be like some cast of characters in the real world of some sort, interacting with each other, having different groups, and then playing the same game or something like that to being an esports type of anime, right? I don't know. I believe that esports anime would be like the most hard one to do. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, and I'm thinking from a completely wrong, I guess, corner, or view, whatever. But then what else did we got? Those are the three. Oh, I guess Love Life. I don't know. I am not particularly for a romance kind of anime, or films in general, right? So I wouldn't go actively search for them, and I know all I will say, I don't know if I would check out an anime like that. But yeah, currently every romance is like mixed with comedy, and I mean, every show that has comedy in it, or most of the cases, has the like tsundere type of girl and one senpai, and he's clueless about it. That's the majority of the shows, right? One other concept, what was again? Let's see. Game development. I mean, for this one, I do believe that we have some. I mean, I don't know if the new game is actually like the game development kind of anime, but I do believe that this one is the most easy to do. I mean, the most easy to do. It is somewhat easy to do compared to the other ones, I believe. But yeah, those are, I guess, 5 anime concepts. I don't know if there is I would really like to have the shared universe one. Those would be so amazing, because you watch one anime and everything is alright, right? And you get accustomed to the characters and everything, you love them. And then you check out completely different anime and you don't expect that, and somehow, bam, we have like all the characters from the previous anime you watched being put in this one. So what? That would be insane. I would love to see that one. But yeah, this will be my take on this great video. Don't forget, in the description below, this link to the video. Go like it, subscribe and everything. This was a great one. Thank you for checking this one out. If you liked my reaction and thoughts afterward, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you have any other, I guess, suggestions or your thoughts behind this. If you have any other anime concepts that would be intriguing, I would love to hear them. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, click that bell for notifications so be informed of my next reactions, gameplays, reviews and other things that you put in the comments below for me to check out. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! And now a special thank you to Fear Machine for additional support on my Patreon.